The dawn of civilization. Primitive. Dangerous. Exciting. The handwriting is on the wall. If the human race is ever going to amount to anything, it needs
the most civilized caveman I have ever seen.
Look who's come out of his cave.
Hey everyone, this is James from Cave Dweller Music. I am here today with my co-host Brendan, and we have a special guest for you, which is Joey Carbo from the New Orleans-based, I guess we call them stoner, sludge, doom, experimental metal band WOORMS. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Really great to have you on.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks, Sludge. Noise rock is what
Noise rock.
It's where but I like all those. Maybe not the stoner thing. I don't know if we ever did that, but I don't think we did.
Take that out.
No, I don't know if we played music in that way. I mean, I don't know.
Well, do you want to tell people a little bit about sort of yourself and the band and what you are all about?
I can try. So yeah, we're from New Orleans, Baton Rouge, like those pretty much like sister cities here. But I guess WOORMS, it's supposed to be a little weird and unsettling. It's the way I intend it anyway. So. I just don't like I don't like things to be too on the nose, like writing wise and just sort of the like I don't really want anyone to ever be able to pick one of my bands out of the lineup. Like that so I guess we try to do lots of things and go a different place with every record, but really noisy and chaotic shit, and then like especially like if you come to a WOORMS show, everyone knows what to expect, and it's a little fucking unhinged. Like we like a really really high energy show. I always liked bands that I never even really great bands if someone's just standing there and they can't. There's not a lot of energy to it. When I saw, when I see someone just fucking just going off and losing any connection to your sense of whether you hurt yourself or or time passing even like that always was a big deal to me, and so for WOORMS I think we try to always put that in, and so that's the main thing we want, I guess. It's just everyone can expect a good quality record. We always work, extremely hard on curating designs and all that. And then the records are always up, one piece of music. I don't ever feel like it's just, some 7 or 8 songs on the same piece of work. But that and just crazy fucking shows where we really just go off. And I guess that's, really, really big, noisy, powerful shit. Amps that are too loud and too big to even make any sense, but that's about it. That's everything I can think of.
Musically, like I'm not talking about like your sound, but like as far as songwriting and structure and stuff, and like energy and comedy and stuff goes, you guys kind of remind me of Melvins.
Yeah, that's
everything's a little different,
right? Yeah, I think there's a lot of the kind of the smartassery to me goes back to more so, I guess, if I had to brutally honestly own up to where I stole it from, I would say more like bands like Combat Wounded Veteran. You remember that band? Or
the Noise band?
Yeah. Well, Grindcore from Florida. I think they were from Gainesville at the time. Like I don't know your age, but it would be this would have been a late 90s band, early 2000s band at the most. No, maybe even mid 90s, honestly, mid to late 90s, like when I started, pretty much. And let's see, they had great song titles, and the art was like there's an album called I Know a Girl Who Develops Crime Scene Photos. I think that's the one with the booklet, and it's got these like disembodied corpses that are like landmine victims or something, and they're washing body parts in a washing machine. It's like these absurdist scenes, and
Right.
it was just so great. And then song titles, like asshole means I'm better than you, or just it's like really smart ass, like 100 songs with 10-word titles, and the album was only 14 minutes long.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Do you guys where do you the puns? Like everything is like super funny. It's a wonderful way to have all
it's
it out.
Man, I can't stop now that I've gotten started. It's
Yeah.
too much fun. And then also I'll
The dad
just
jokes
do
of bands,
stupid shit.
like it's great.
Yeah, if you go to the first record, there's a lot of hidden shit in there that a lot of people never even bring up to me. And as much as people like that record, and every time it gets repressed, we sell them really fast, and people just really like that fucking record. And it really surprises me how much people don't notice of all the little hidden
Benny Viddy fuck you.
shit that's in there. Yeah. And then like there's etching on the vinyl itself that has some of the words from Racist Kevin in it. But so that song in particular, Racist Kevin, a friend of mine, let's see. So I'm not going to remember the entire thing, but basically I had written these 2 lines and I was proud of them or whatever. Oh, no. I know what it was. I wanted to write a limerick. And I said, I never wrote a limerick before. I don't want to fuck around with the structure of a limerick. So I sat down and wrote a limerick, and then I sent it to him, and he was laughing, and I said, what? Fuck that. I'm going to write a song that is a limerick. Like, so the lyric structure of the song is a limerick, and I want to see what it would do to the song, what it would do to the music. Like musically, what would you have to do to accommodate a rhythmic structure that is a fucking limerick on the melodic side? And so I was just curious about, and he goes, well, that's fine and all, but you'll never be able to write like 4 more of these lines. Like this is, you've exhausted this rhyme scheme. And he's like, you're rhyming on the same, like you're not even allowing yourself a second syllable to rhyme. And anyway, he was telling me structurally why there was no fucking possible way I was going to come up with enough lyrics that would fit that limerick structure to fill up a song. And it's a short song, but it actually has more lines than most of the longer songs. So I did it only just to show my friend I could do it, and that's where Racist Kevin came from. But I think, just being a smartass in general. Honestly, the Melvins, they did some a lot of what I would say what I borrowed from them would be more like the vagary of everything. What I always liked about them was how really vague everything is. And I mean, there's a side to that that I don't like so much, in that, okay, like if he had only not written lyrics for Houdini, and then you had a song like Hooch, where they're nonsense syllables that you can form into these fake words, and then everyone always says the same fake word over and over again. Like, to me, that's brilliant, but that's not the same thing as just random stream of consciousness fucking words, and then you never actually sit down and write lyrics. And it,
Right.
whatever, like he's not that kind of guy who doesn't write lyrics, whatever. But that part, once I found out he did that all the time and it wasn't just on that one record, I was less impressed by that. But I still like the fact that you can't say what's going on any one song. Like, I don't want anyone to be able to look at Worms and say, okay, these are their politics, or this song is about this, or this song's about that, and not because I don't put enough careful attention into songs, and that they aren't about things. They all are.
Yeah.
But I don't, back in the late 90s, I guess it was like that. There were a lot of bands where the music was a vehicle for something else. The music was there because politically they had something to say. Right, and that's all fine, but the way I always felt about it was kind of like you're invading my world and you're bringing your bullshit into it. Like it has nothing to do with how I might feel about those things. It's just like, that's not what music's for. Music's not a vehicle for that. Music is the reason. It's not the other way around.
Right.
So I kind of like the vagary of all of that, instead of sort of wearing your emotions on your sleeve, or there's, I guess, the different tropes you can do with the genre. Like there's a range of emotions outside of fucking anger. Like there's other ones.
Like you look at unicorn corn and you're like,
yeah. So all right, go ahead.
That's a song about Trump, is it? No, I don't know. Maybe not.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
And that's a personal joke. There was a lady who used to do some stuff for us, I think social media stuff like that, a friend of the band and stuff. And I think I would text her a picture of a unicorn and then a picture of a cob of corn. And it was like, it became accidentally a way of saying like, everything's cool. Like everything is unicorn corn. And I don't know how we ended up saying it. So we were all fucked up one night and I told her that I would make it a song title on the record. And she just thought I was playing around. She didn't think I was really going to do it. And she didn't know until she saw it printed, like till she saw the vinyl. And she told me I was stupid and then I wasted it. Like, it was kind of like, well, she liked it, but at the same time, it was like, that joke meant that, like, that was important to you. You know what I mean? It was more like a thing I remembered and she didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Which made it better. Yeah. Like, I think I'm doing something cool, but.
That's great. So, have you had, so you had the music going and whatnot. So have you had any, puns come up, before a song, and you're just like, I just have to use this title somewhere?
Oh yeah, so I'll keep a list. Actually, I've got like a song title list, and I don't do that for any other thing, like any other projects, or I've made a ton of fucking solo records, and I'm always working on that stuff, and I never do that. I don't write songs that way. I don't write songs around titles, but
Correct,
with Worms, then there's, with the records, you usually getting about 60% goofy fucking titles that don't mean anything. So sometimes it'll be, so there's one I'm afraid of having stolen before it comes out, because now we're putting like a year behind the record, whereas we were going to put it out. So I've got two really great new ones that for the new record that I'm afraid someone's going to steal. But I had these before I had the song. I just knew like the title. So then I might sit around and just, and I'll come up with a thing, and maybe that becomes a character, or maybe it's a story and it has nothing to do with it. But one we're going to be playing on this tour, this might be my favorite, but it's called Half Astronaut. And that one's going good. It sounds really, really good. We got the new synth in there. Like, I'm playing keyboard on the side of the guitar, and I've got a volume switch to control that for. And the other one is Eugene, like the name Eugene. Eugene Jacket. Like, as though it were his first and last name.
That's funny. I'm looking for Eugene Jacket.
Yeah, right. So that now I can at least I can put that out there, and if it gets stolen, I said, like, what is it? Where are we at? January 24. Like, I thought of it in 2023, and now here we are officially talking about it. If anyone steals it after January 14th, we got it down.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have to say, my favorite song that you've done that I've heard out of all your stuff was the single you released from Slake, Find a Meal, Find a Bed, Find a God. I love that track.
Oh, thanks. That was the first Worms song ever, and I wrote that song in the amount of time it took to play it. There was it was one of those, like, if every musician, writer knows what it's like when you have songs that you can't really take credit for. Like, you pick up your guitar just to tune it, and then you accidentally play something really that then you're like, oh fuck, that's a song. Give me a minute with that, Yeah, it was like that. I was just getting ready to move some shit around or whatever, and I picked up the guitar and just played it. And I started out, in bands kind of like this, and then I spent a long time playing different kinds of music and playing in different kinds of bands. And I wanted to come back and do this for like a year and make make the record, make Slake. And then I found, the guys to do a couple of shows, and then it just went like, I didn't really choose to keep doing it. It wasn't my plan. Worms was supposed to be just like a little 1-year project, and then I was just going to go back to playing other shit, doing other stuff. But Worms just like, it was just going too well, so we had to keep doing it. But yeah, that was the first. That song just came out of the first idea of making Slake and putting a heavy band together, and that was more or less. I always felt like was the. Still, maybe like it defines the band, at least up to a point. We've this will be the first year we've taken it out of the set list too. Actually, I believe we've played that song at every single Worm show, probably ever.
Wow, you're just gonna be just mixing it up, seeing how other stuff does.
Shit, are we still here? Like in the beginning, I guess I felt like it ticked all the boxes of what the band does, because I wanted to do clean singing with this band, and then and we're doing a lot more of that now, and a lot more harmonics and stuff like that. But I knew I didn't want to scream like I had done with other bands, and I also kind of felt like it's just a little played out. I mean, we've been screaming for a long time now, and I mean we as a community, but we can. It felt like, okay, it's got the, quieter, more layered textures that we do. It's got straight up riffs,
Yeah.
So it just felt like it was never a good time to take it out of the set. But we're going back to some old stuff, and then not having a record to tour on. We're gonna go back and play all these older songs. So yeah, it's getting cut for the first time.
Do you have a new favorite taking its place?
Yeah, let's see. We were working all day yesterday, and I've got this in front of me somewhere. The new song, actually, the one I was talking about, Half Astronaut. That new one is really fucking pretty hard so far. We were playing it yesterday, even without Miguel here, without the bassist here, and it sounds really good, like really, really strong and powerful. And Ben Michon, the new guitar player, he gets to spread his legs a little bit, stretch his legs on this one a little bit, because to spread his legs. Because it's new, and he gets to write his way into it more so than just do whatever I did on the previous, on the record.
Right, he gets some creative freedom.
Yeah, right. So there's some little he's not the same kind of a guitar player as me at all. So there's like little things where instead of where I would normally take a fill section or play over or whatever, then I can say he can take the fill, and then when he does it, I know what's going to come out is not going to be what I would do. But what's really cool about what he's been doing so far is he translates his playing through the lens of, but this is how you would do it if you were in Worms. Like he's I know he's not that kind of player, and the dude's got good fucking hands, man. He's like a really good thrash player. He plays blues really well. He's a good all around player, and so he's worked on a couple of solos. I never really liked straight up guitar, like cheeseball fucking straight up solos. Like they're cool, like if I'm listening to Tom Petty or something like that, but I never wanted to be in a band that just like did these rip shit solos, But and I never really wanted to be that kind of guitar player either. It's not really interesting me that much.
Sets,
Do I
save it for the live sets?
Yeah, right. So he's doing basically like he intuited pretty easily how off kilter and sort of weird things needed to be, like for a Worm song. You don't always just, there's always a note that's somewhere misplaced, or there's the tuning is off, but I don't tune weird so I can then play around it or play easily. Like I'll tune strange so that the chord actually sounds strange, and then sometimes it takes two guitars playing to get the whole weirdness of it out, which is there on the records. And he's done a really good job of just being able to pick those things out. And because you can't come to me and ask me, hey, I can play you a riff from 5 years ago, but I can't tell you like, okay, when we did this crazy fucking noise part right here, we had an amp in a hallway and I fucking, threw a guitar at it, or I had some pedals over here and but all I can do is go back and try to make that sound again. And he's done really good at picking up on like, we'll start playing and he does something and it's like, oh shit, that's the thing I did with like a keyboard and a fucking rubber duck or whatever. And he figured out how to make the noise on guitar, Right. And it's really cool. It's working out good.
Yeah. I saw the other day you had you posted about a Whamola.
I just got one. No, I didn't build it. I got it. I had it made. I want to say where are they doing it? Maybe in Denver or in one of the Carolinas or something. I got it because I wanted to build one though, and so instead of buying a kit, I was thinking I would just get one and reverse engineer it. And then I guess in my head I was like, I'll figure out what's fucking wrong with it, and I'll figure out how to put some high strings on it and play it with a bow, and then it'll really make all that. That's probably all the shit I was thinking when I got it. But now I got it. It's just a fucking Whamola. Like it's just a wash tub bass with a whammy bar. Like there ain't a lot to it. But it's,
whenever I see those, I think of the dude from Primus,
right?
Les
so
Claypool.
I think he made him famous, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the. I saw it in a video, and then I was surprised to see that you can get them made for like, I think shipping and all, it was like $340, $350.
Huh.
No, I mean there
looks like a lot of fun
ain't a
too.
lot to it, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I sat yesterday and put on the Mollusk, the Ween album.
Nice.
And I just kind of sat here and played Whamola to that. Like after we practiced all day and I didn't want to stand up anymore and I didn't want to play guitar anymore. I just sat down and put that record on and played Whamola to it. And it's pretty cool like that. I don't know that I would trying to use it on stage. To me seems like it would be a pain in the fucking ass, but I don't know. I'm anxious for Miguel, for our bassist, to get his hands on it because he's an extremely good player. I want to see what someone like that can do with it, as opposed to like I don't know, like the instruction says, it tells you all this different shit and it's like, be patient and it's worth it and blah blah blah. But honestly, after like 3 hours with it, I think I've gone as far as I can go with the Whamola. Like I think I learned all the tricks, but who knows.
Did you see the South Park special, the like anniversary show?
Oh, the Red Rocks thing?
Yeah.
Actually, I did, and I had meant to watch that for forever, and I just saw it recently. Probably, actually, might be why I bought the fucking Whamola, to tell you the truth.
Right, because he plays that on stage.
Because now that you say that, that was pretty recent that I watched that thing.
Yeah, he Brendan, if you haven't seen it, it was members of Ween and Les Claypool from Primus was there, and then they had members of Rush, a ton of good musical guests.
Yeah, it was cool, and the
I haven't seen it. No,
it's a little it's a little long, but
it's fun though.
But it's a lot of fun, especially when they when the bands are playing not so much the show tunes, which some of those were cool, but honestly, I was skipping through to listen to the bands play the band songs and not so much the South Park songs. But
the band songs were great.
Right. It took them a couple of months to, which it sounds like I don't remember why I bought a fucking Whamola, but you have to remember it takes like 3 months for them to make the fucking thing. So in that time, I don't remember all the specifics, but I'm self-aware enough to admit that I may have just sat down and watched this fucking thing and then went online and bought it, but I don't remember having done that. But it sounds like that sounds very likely now, putting the pieces together.
That's funny. It's like randomly being like, you know what, I need a Whamola.
I don't know how he keep like at that volume though. So it's just a naked single coil pickup sitting out there on a piece of wood. Like the feedback issues must be insane.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Must have practiced and like going to fine tuned and stuff because he's been playing it for a long time.
I know, and he does it with like huge ensembles and shit, doesn't he? Like his big jam band.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, I'd be curious to know how much of a
That dude,
pain in the ass that is to do live.
he is a bass god. Like, he's unreal at bass.
Yeah, dude's really good. And then like so even the Wamola, like you're gonna watch him play it and it seems like a really cool toy, but you can't fucking do what he's doing with it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
slap happy with that thing, dude.
Yeah, because if you really get into it and you watch the videos, even when he's playing it, like if you were to turn off every other instrument, he's not even playing notes. It would be the same thing as if you took a stick and slapped a countertop with it as far as the musicality of the whole thing.
Right, and then
like,
getting nice reverb and all that. It's like,
right.
You're like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's not even really music that he's making. It's
Sounds.
like when it combines with other things. Yeah, when those sounds combine with other things.
Yeah.
So it's not really. Now maybe he could play it all by himself, but I have a feeling even Claypool would have trouble pulling off a solo Wamola performance. It's
I'd
a
never
very
heard of that.
sparse fucking instrument.
He'd have
My
to
challenge to you is,
become like a live looper.
Right.
Do something that's never been done and make a band that's solely Wamola, ham boning, and spoons.
Well, like a Wham cover band. That's
Yeah. Oh shit. There you go. That was the missing piece right there.
That's it.
We got it. We can make this happen.
Brendan, I think this is probably a good time for you to ask some of those local city questions.
Yeah. You guys, we were talking, earlier. We can segue back a little bit to the to live shows.
Mhm.
Do you have a like a favorite venue in your area, local venue?
Locally here.
Yeah, like your spot.
Dude,
Like this is where Worms hometowns.
Yeah, man. So you have to remember Katrina is one thing.
Yeah.
So there's the spot that I would tell you, and anyone else from the city would have probably told you the same thing, is fucking gone because of that. But right now, probably Siberia is a really cool, like smaller little venue. We did, and it's big enough, and it's also just the reputation it has, and because the green room is really hospitable, really humane, and that's rare for New Orleans. So in that way, even bigger bands can play there. Like we played with Fiend Without a Face there recently, like Brent Hines' other band. So
okay, yeah.
It's big enough that you can accommodate, like Goat Whore plays there. Even I Hate God plays there still sometimes, I believe.
Nice.
Like you can get bigger bands when you can get bands like that into a smaller space. Those are always my favorite. Like I don't really like being on a stage like 4 feet above everyone else. I feel like a show with this thing with this genre or this community, when the people are on the same level on the floor and they're right close in your face, and those are all, wherever I am, those are my favorite venues. But it's more of one of those kind of spots, and then there's nicer places in New Orleans, like big, stage shows and some clubs that are cool and all that. But but that one, and then there's a new-ish one, which is probably a couple years old, called The Goat, and we're supposed to do our tour kickoff there on May 22nd, and that is I think it's in the Treme, if I'm not mistaken, or right outside of it. And I've heard a lot of good things about it, but it'll be my first time going there.
Nice. Hell yeah. Do you have a favorite venue outside of Nola?
Oh, man. Lots of them. But they're mostly for like old manish reasons, not so much musician reasons, probably.
No, that's all right. I'm getting to be an old man, so let me know.
Let's see. So, I really like Mobile. Mobile's got a cool, is a cool town right now, the cool city right now. Everybody's like the turnout's cool. The crowds are extremely energetic. It's really cool. But I believe that I read that they're closing like the coolest venue there, I believe Alabama Music Box, and hopefully I'm not putting out some bullshit here and it's another place that's closing, but I believe that one is not going to be there anymore. But there's a place called the Merry Widow that we really like, and that one has, and it's funny, I think I like all these places for the exact same reason. They all have super sick accommodations. Like one of them has a suite of rooms above the bar that's like bigger than my house, and it's like you can get it for, I mean, it's like nothing. The amount, like a cleaning fee or whatever, and you can stay there. So it was cool, like especially on the road, you can. Like we got there, and then I realized like you can literally stay in one place all fucking day. I don't have to go out to get food. I don't have to go out to get rest. I don't have to worry about where I'm going. I can walk from downstairs onto the stage pretty much. And it was like, that sounds like some spoiled bitch shit, and I guess it is, but that was like, I want to say Cherry Street Tavern is the one that, and the Cobra in Chicago that was probably. That and Alabama Music Box were our favorite spots. Like I think the whole band agreed on, like from the last run.
Hell yeah!
And Cobra's got in Chicago, even as a member of the general public. Cobra is really cool. They've got like really gourmet food. They make like hamburgers with all kinds of wild shit on them, like arugula and like different tiny little micro flavors, like sort of mixed in that you wouldn't expect, but like really good, like bloody steak hamburger and different things like that on the menu, like not a straight up bar menu. Like you feel good about not leaving the venue to eat, like it, you could actually get a real meal there that you felt good about eating, awesome. Instead of just, some fried shit or the taco truck that might make you shit in a bathroom.
Right.
Whatever, but
yeah.
I love burgers, dude.
Yeah, me too. And it's not always like right before a show you can't do it, but if you can get there early enough to eat a burger and have time to let it settle, then
like grab it for
have to eat
lunch
again all day,
late lunch or something.
Right.
Or
Yeah, those are probably my favorite places because of that, and anything where there's a green room attaches to the stage, I'm all about that. And even better if it doesn't attach to a stage, if it just attaches to like a dirty fucking floor where the only boundary between the audience is like the monitors, like on the floor. That's my favorite joints.
Yeah, there's a spot down here, the Cherry Street Station, that's like. It's set up basically like the stage for it is only like maybe 2 or maybe 3 feet high, if that. And there's like a couple steps to get up it. So it's like they're playing like just slightly higher than you. You know what I mean? Like it's great. It's like it's actually really nice because then like if you're like a short dude like myself, like you're not lost in like not being able to see the band play, you know what I mean? But it's, like, I'm not like staring at their knees, you know what I mean?
Right, and it's almost like being on the floor, but not quite. It's better for the sound. But yeah, once you're up and like your feet are at head level with the audience, I don't know, man. It stops being fun at some point.
It's like it's almost like it's not a play or like a freaking container, like.
Or if I've got to take like 5 full strides to like, lean against my bass player and so I can see what the fuck he's doing in case I need to, or just for any reason. Like if I can't just lean over and touch one of the other guys, if I've got to go walking over to him, like I'm not, I'm just like instantly just feel like I'm doing some sort of a job at that point.
There's a venue here in San Diego that you would probably love then called Till 2. And it's literally just a dive bar, and they made some space in the corner and put a stage that's floor level height, about the size of a sedan, and it's got like pretty loud speakers. But when you're seeing a band there, like you're standing eye level height with them right in front of them, and they're just playing straight to you. So it's kind of fun.
I mean, I think it can go too far, like in that situation. There, I don't want to play in a fucking shotgun house, like. Mm-hmm. I want to there's a place where is it? There's a really cool place in Athens. Shit, I'll remember it. But you can put 300 or 400 people in there, 400 or 500 people in there, but it's still the ones that are in the front are going to be right in your face. But there's I can tell you about a venue here that's worth noting, just for that on general principle. It's called Babylon. It is outside of New Orleans in Metairie, I believe, and it's literally a bar. I believe that a normal sized man could probably lay down with his feet at the bar stool and his arms outstretched and touch the wall on the other side of the bar, or at least come close to it. And they put metal bands in that. I've seen 5-piece metal bands play in there, and it's fucking insane. Like you can play guitar, reach the bar, pick up a beer off the bar, and like never have to step away from your mic stand. And they smoke cigarettes in there, so it's basically like everyone is. The question is, have you ever played Babylon, and why don't you anymore? Basically, that's okay.
There's a space like that in Connecticut here. Like I saw my buddy's band came through, and I went to say hi, and I was just like, holy shit. It was like, I think it was at the bottom of like an art gallery, and it was literally like a room, a small room that probably, I don't know, for some reason it had a bar in it and all these little things, like the tiniest rec room, you know what I mean? And like, if there was 3 bands worth of like space in there, like to store their gear, like that, and then there was probably room for like 15 people. And
we had to do merch in the parking lot at this joint. There was now, and I should say, like, while I'm saying all this, the people at Babylon are cool as fuck. And as much as I would say that, like, I won't do this again, I did thoroughly enjoy the show we played there. It was a fucking ripper. But like smelling like cigarettes and having to have merch like out on a gravel parking lot was just too much of an ask, especially when you know what your head count's going to be like 50. Right. And that's with half of them outside, listening from outside.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this place, like, now that I was referring to is like, you know, it's a small little space, and it was definitely really cool. Like, you know, I definitely go back again, but like, if I was like an artist and I saw it for the very first time, I was like, oh, sweet, this is the storage space. Where's the band?
Right. Yeah.
Playing. You know what I mean? And then
sometimes those places will. Yeah, that's fucked. Sometimes they'll surprise you. Like I've rolled up on some of what I thought were going to be the worst fucking nightmares, and it ends up being a great show. Like,
yeah, I definitely had a great show. It was an awesome show. It was fun, but I was like, the space really surprised me for sure. I was just like, this is an odd spot. All right, cool. You know?
Yeah. And then some of those, like when a sound guy can do like amazing things with, you know, $500 worth of shit that wasn't good when it was brand new, like that's always that's usually what you find in places like that. That's why those places stick around, because you know you got a guy like that can pull sound on some old shit, like, you know, and he doesn't need everything to make it sound good. And just, you know, you get lucky with acoustics or just whatever, but some of those little dives, man, I don't even think it's just the energy. I think the show literally does sound better in there than, you know, sometimes you get the right atmosphere or whatever. The right building.
If you guys ever played down in San Diego, you would either do probably a place called Brick by Brick, which is the main metal venue in town, or there's a place called the Casbah, which is like where all the noise rock bands play.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
Keanu Reeves sometimes watches shows there, which is really cool.
And that's in San Diego.
Yeah, cool. And that place has some really cool bands. Like any of the legends you can think of from the noise scene have basically played there when they've come through.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like I saw Unsane there recently, and it was a great show.
Oh, and they were doing the old songs.
Yeah, the old songs, that tour.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Yeah, I feel like venues around here, like the one that probably would get you in like quicker than others would probably be set up like the stage that you're like, damn it, I'm like 3 feet taller than everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, it's just.
I saw Crowbar play there, so
you
know,
that's cool.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah, those places are fine. I'm just like if I got my wish every night.
Oh no, of course, no, I
on
got
the floor,
you.
but
Yeah,
we don't get them enough, you know, like which it's, you know, it's great to be in nice places like the Cobra, for instance, is like, oh man, it's just super, super nice, but it's not you know, you don't get the concert hall treatment there. You know? Like it's not so, it's extremely professional, but not to the point of being stuffed shirt, you know?
Yeah.
I saw there's this cool little band that was playing in a place in Hartford, and like the singer like is like, you know, he's singing, and then he like jumps off, like stage dives, runs like, you know, around the back crowd, and then like back up the stairs, and like he's still like singing again, didn't miss anything, you know what I mean? Like it's so tiny, but it was like it's big enough, but like, you know, it's wild. It was cool. Some wild shows there.
Yeah, there's
Brendan,
oh, sorry,
go ahead.
I was going to say the Handlebar in Pensacola is a. I always we played there recently, and I had played there, but it was like, I don't know, 15 years ago or 20, whatever, and I really remember how small it was. But I think it's so wild. Some of the bands that I've seen playing there, like bands with 6, 7 fucking people, and the place is like a little bit larger than a daiquiri shop, kind of, but. Yeah. It's got a second, like an area you can watch the bands, like a patio, but there's a glass wall or whatever. But yeah, it's crazy to me, some of the bands that have been up on that little stage. I think Goatwhore was there recently, and they take up a lot of real estate on stage. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
Brendan, I know you normally have some great questions about food, and it's Louisiana, so I'd love to hear.
Are beignets better down in Nola than anywhere else?
I don't know that I've had a beignet anywhere else. But they're better than homemade ones that I've had. Like I had a like an adult of some type make me some when I was a kid. I can't remember who made them or who the fucking beignet lady was, but I remember. But then we don't call them that. We call them French donuts. Which could be a country thing. I don't know. But if you go now, that's one thing I would say. Like as far as the hype and of it, the only place in New Orleans worthy of any of that shit is actually that place. Where you stand in line, what the fuck's it called? Is it French Market? I think it's French Market. And you get hot chocolate and beignets. You stand, and people stand in line all day. Like it's an extremely long line.
Yeah.
That's the only place that now all the other tourist places, and that's in the tourist area and everything, they're not worth it. But that place really is. And another thing that people don't really know is you don't have to stand in that line. There's a dude, and his job is basically just to walk up and down the line and police it and kind of keep everybody in single file and just sort of watch it. And all you got to do is give the guy $20, and he will like as if it were the most normal thing in the world. He'll pull you out of line and take you ahead of people and just basically tell these people like they're skipping you because they gave me money. You know, like it's just understood. Oh well, you know, they're like, excuse me, fucking paid the guy.
Like, you know, wow, how come I didn't get to the front? Those people paid me $30. You know what I mean? Yeah,
right. He'll just bring you. It's a long enough line. But
until you get a guy who like asks you for the money, you give it to him, and he starts walking away. Like, oh, you gonna take me to the front? He's like, oh, I don't work here.
Yeah, right. And then you're not far from pretty much that setup anyway. You know, like there's also going to be people asking you for money just because they have a really good joke. You know, like some stupid thing that they invented. Because no one in New Orleans really just flat out. You don't panhandle for nothing. Like you're gonna have at least they all have an act, and it's good. You know, it's not just straight up. You know, I need some help.
That's so much better. California, it's like
give
me money.
Yeah, right. It's not,
buskers.
There's no sob story. There's none of that. It's just like a fucking 5-minute comedy routine, and then you get to decide what that's worth. You know.
That's awesome.
But food wise, I would say that, like, or even I would say in general, don't even go to New Orleans as a tourist unless you know someone that lives there. It's just a fucking
Yeah.
It's
Because like
impossible.
we're always like, hey, if like James and I are gonna come down and visit, like, where are you gonna bring us? Like we don't want to go to all the
touristy stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to. And I mean, even in the sense of like when I go, or when anyone goes anywhere, they want to avoid the touristy traps. But in New Orleans, even more so, just because all of the traditional food that you would hear so much about, if you eat it in one of these places in the quarter, you're not gonna leave with any idea really of what that food tastes like. It's just not worth it. But they've opened up a lot of the little neighborhoods and stuff, and people have basically residential areas that are, I guess they zoned them a different way, and people are putting bars and restaurants in their houses, like in their backyards, building like extremely nice bars and restaurants and shit, like social clubs and shit like that. And those are really the best places to eat.
Wow.
I've seen there's a couple spots that I've seen that are like little mini microbreweries and things like that too. And it's like someone's garage, and then next thing you know, you got like everybody's like parking down the street and showing up,
Yep. Yeah, they got really good breakfast joints like that. Like it's just a neighborhood, but for the brunch hours on the weekend, that it's just understood, like people will park wherever they can get to walk down to that place. But every other time it's just like the lady's house.
Yeah. That's
I'm
sweet.
looking for good gumbo jambalaya, and how do you say the sausage name is? Aldouin?
Andouille.
Andouille, that's the one. Yeah, that stuff's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what is it, like got pig livers and stuff in it or something?
I think something like that, yeah.
I think it's got livers in it or something.
Tastes excellent.
And Dewey it's good.
Yeah.
I had some good alligator.
Yeah, alligator's good. I like alligator.
Yeah, it's all right.
Alligator tail.
It can just get really tough if they don't cook it right.
So I always they've got different meat on them, right? Like I think an alligator has 3. This could be bullshit. I know they have white and dark meat, but I was under the impression alligators have 3 types of meat on their body. Oh. And they have a fishier like belly meat, I want to say, and it's more. And most people don't eat that because it's really, really gamey, I guess. But then now I don't remember which one it is, but basically, if you eat the tail or you eat the leg, you're going to have a completely different experience. And I believe the tail meat is the good white meat that people prefer.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay, and because I'm not really crazy about alligator, honestly.
It's like fishy chicken.
Like I would eat it if I was hungry, but
I'll tell you, it's basically exactly the same as crocodile because I've had both.
It's fishy chicken.
Like they'll chop up the nuggets and fry them at all the restaurants around here and stuff like that. And it's a toss up between if you get any white meat or any dark meat, like as to me, honestly, like to whether you'll eat it.
Right.
I think people that don't like it, it's probably because they never had the white meat version or whatever. They had that part of it, the tail meat or whatever it is.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's some definitely interesting stuff.
Yeah, beignets there. If this is a better question for someone who knew, or I guess would know what the fuck a beignet was if it wasn't from New Orleans, because I assume it's something that I could eat in France and it would be better, but
right.
I don't
know. It's like world renowned to have beignet over in New Orleans.
Yeah. Now you can if you buy the mix and take it home, you can make something that's not going to be drastically different from what they do. But that place, man, it's this famous fucking place, and I'm forgetting the name of it. But the presentation more than anything, and it's just like the way they put the sugar on and the type of sugar they use. So it's the small differences that make a huge difference. Like you can,
of course, man.
I don't think that the beignet itself is that complex of a thing. I think you're just throwing dough into hot oil, but
right. it's like they're stuffed usually with chocolate sometimes, and it's like.
Huh. Okay, so not the ones not down like that's
Some of
not
them
the
are, not
traditional
always.
way to eat it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't even know if they sell them like that, honestly. Like down there, I don't think they're stuffed with anything as far as just the ones you get at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Not that you ever will be, like there's no reason to be specifically, but if you're ever in Kuala Lumpur, in Little India, there's this dude who's like famous for making, not beignets, but like, I guess their equivalent of it. And he's just this guy who has like a massive oil pot on the street corner. No business or anything, but he has lines like 3, 4, 5 blocks.
Oh wow! No, I go all over the place, man. I love shit like that. There's a half a chance I will go see the guy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, check it. You'll find him. He's in Little India. He's near the main train station, Little India. And dude, the stuff that he puts, I don't know how it tastes that good. He just batters random stuff and throws it into this giant pot of oil on the street corner, and it's just so good.
We let's see, and I went with a friend and my wife. Yeah, and my wife went to Portugal not long ago. We went to one of the places. I have a friend from Istanbul, and we travel a lot together. And whenever we can, we don't like go to an entire ass country for this reason. But if we see that we happen to be somewhere and it's not that far out of the way, we'll go to places that Bourdain went to. And
oh, nice!
So we went to this little place in Portugal, and it was basically the most rudimentary, like childhood invention type food that you could ever think of. It was just like straight up refrigerator hot dogs, like Nathan's hot dogs or whatever. Yeah. And he would cut them flat and. Let's see. Then he had bread on them, and it would just be like the hot dog and the bread, and it was fried. And it might have had one other ingredient. It might have had a little bit of mozzarella or something. But it was, I don't know, man. It was just extremely simple. There was nothing fancy about it, and it was still. It was. We were back like 3 days in a row, and it was just a fucking fried hot dog. Like that's all it was.
Well, sometimes simple is good.
And the people were standing like you're saying, like you had to. There were 2 locations, and apparently one location was the only one that showed up, like on maps or something, because that's where the long line was. And then my friend is always out wandering in the middle of the night. It's just something he does. And the next day he tells me, he's like, I found another location around here. We can go. He's like, it's outside of the square and everything. We'll go over there. And like we went, and it's like the secret second location that like no one is at.
That's funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Like that, but the other one that was like right by the bus station and everything, and there was just fucking always a line. But I guess the Portuguese people know to go to the other one. I don't know.
The locals.
Yeah. But it was still. I was just like the second day. I was like, I can't believe I walked across town for a fried hot dog.
That's awesome.
Brendan, we're coming up on time. Did you have any other questions you wanted to ask still?
Yeah, I got one more.
All right.
So, making strange and odd and fun music, is there any musician that is kind of in the same weird realm that you want to work with, make some cool WOORMS collaboration with?
Oh, man. There's lots of people that I would like, as far as in a dream world, but
yeah, like you could answer both, like a dream world and then like, hey man, a real one.
So probably something that would never happen. It would be like to work with someone like Justin Pearson. Would be like, that's probably as far as like a contemporary and a person, the way they approach things and everything that they're doing. Justin Pearson has always impressed me more so than most other people. And this is Justin Pearson from The Locust, and now he's got his Def Club Planet B. I really really like, and he's just always doing different stuff. But just the way he sort of approaches more like Patton does too. You know, there's no genre that he can't work in, right? Like that. But here look like something that I've thought about. And I guess it's, I don't know, it's kind of funny to say out publicly and not talk to these people about it. But there's a band called Street Sex in Austin.
Yeah.
And I really, really like what that guy does. That shit, that's some of the coolest stuff I've heard in a really long time is what they did there. Let me look
What
real
type
quick
of
because I'll
stuff is it?
forget. That it's, let's see, what would you say? Maybe it's got an older, almost a post-industrial feel to it, like maybe like Big Black or something like
nice.
that. And it's got sort of the lo-fi drum sound, and it's got kind of that that like it, and this might not make any sense, but like almost like a post-apocalyptic sort of an approach or an aesthetic.
Okay.
You know, sort of like an underworld sort of feel to it.
Kind of like comic bookish.
Is it
like,
street sex or sex?
Sex, like a cult.
That's what I thought. Okay, I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Now. That sounds cool.
It's really cool stuff. And I'm looking.
Oh, here we go.
Because I don't want to forget things that I would normally say. As far as that goes, bands.
I love the
I like
album
what,
art on his singles.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
that stuff's really cool. There's a
that's
there's a couple other ones.
It's got like that like noir feel to it.
Right. Yeah, and I like the way the music's put together. There's another band that the guy is involved in that I also really, really like, but I'm not certain of who that is. And also I think he might have been in Headwound City or what was the other band he might have been in? Shit, I can't remember now. Anyway, I think if you look into it, one of those guys is also in another band that I really, really like, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Was it? I feel like they played shows with Portrayal of Guilt.
Okay, yeah.
But
I believe there's a band called Glassing that are some friends of ours that
oh yeah.
I want to say they shared a drummer at some point, maybe. And that might even be how I heard of the guys. There's a band in, and it's also in Texas. They are in like College Station area called Black Catholics. And I don't even think they're together anymore, but they made a couple of EPs or a couple of records or something. And that was really cool. We played a show with them, and they used so much smoke from a smoke machine that I didn't even get to see the band play because they used that much smoke. And I went and I honestly played the show because I wanted to see the band more or less. Like that's what I was excited about doing, was going to see that band more so than go play the show. And I had to fucking go outside because of the smoke.
I can only see one release from them from 2018. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, probably so.
From Texas, Black Catholics from Texas.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And if I remember, there's maybe like a wheelchair on the cover or something. It's all in black and white, maybe, but
it's like a hand with a nail through it.
Okay, that's them. Yeah. And there's another band, Tongue Party, that I saw from the last couple of years that was really cool. They came through here and they brought tons of just random mixed up amplifiers and combos and like a big stack of just random fucking amps.
Are they the ones from Minneapolis, Minnesota?
Yeah, they are from Minnesota.
Cool. I'm gonna check them out too.
I really like those guys.
Sweet. Cool. Well, I have one more question for you then to wrap things up. This might put you on the spot very slightly, but
all right.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you had a solar-powered Discman and 3 CDs to listen to on repeat until you got rescued, what would you want those to be?
I don't think it's probably not that hard because I've kind of been doing that and I'm not on a desert. No, I get in a mood where, so like right now it's the and it's not even a band that I would say I'm a huge fan of at all. But it's just where I'm stuck right now. The Mastodon record, The Hunter. But I can also just take like Curl of the Burl. For some reason, I can sit down and I'll listen to the song like literally 20 times in a row without stopping, because I'm trying to figure one thing out, or I just like the way it makes me feel or whatever. But I would say I did that probably for 20 or 30 years straight with Bad Motorfinger. I've probably listened to that record at least once a week to once a month since I first heard it, like when I was 12 or whatever.
Wow.
So that would be easy. Like for some reason I could probably listen to that album forever and never get tired of it at all. So probably that one. And then I might have to take like a Nick Cave record, maybe from like the Cannibal, from the Abattoir, like maybe the Abattoir double record.
Nice.
Because those CDs will fit in the same box. And I can listen to the first couple of Helmet and Jesus Lizards records all the time, probably. But I think that the thing that I've heard recently that I'm probably will be stuck with for the rest of my life now, and I'm kind of upset I missed out on the time, is so we played that show with fucking Fiend Without a Face, and so Brent Hines has another band called West End Motel.
Okay.
And I don't know what I was doing or where I was when all this came out, but I missed it. But West End Motel has an album. All the albums are really, really beautiful. But there's one of them that I haven't been able to stop listening to. It's called Only Time Can Tell. It's a West End Motel record.
Okay. All
and
right,
it'll
sweet.
make you super happy. Like this, when I first heard this, I think I listened to it about 2 or 3 times a day for 2 weeks. And even aside from being a neurotic person, I think a normal person could enjoy listening to it more than once or twice even. Yeah, that's what I got.
Nice. This seems like a good spread.
All right.
So the last question then, which is the last easy one, is if people want to support the band, listen to the music, buy merchandise, stay up to date with what you're doing, what are the best places to follow you and buy from you?
Money-wise, if you go to Bandcamp and YouTube and Apple Music, those are probably not just for us, but in general, if you're going to buy from a band that doesn't have any fucking money, then those are the three places that we get paid the most. Aside from someone coming to a show and buying something, which is the best way to do it. But yeah, everyone knows Spotify's fucked, but Bandcamp is a good way. You get most of the money, and I know some people bristle about the fees, but I'm not going to build my own fucking server, so I'm good with it. Yeah, we're on Bandcamp at WOORMS, and there's a YouTube channel, and believe it or not, even when you don't know how to run a YouTube channel, you can still kind of get paid.
Nice. And then social media, as far as like following the band, keeping up to date.
The old people shit mostly, like Facebook, and then I think that someone's taking care of Instagram. I think that still gets taken care of. I think we have the other ones, but I don't think that they do much, like on Twitter or whatever. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Facebook would probably be the best way.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, yeah, please do that. Facebook.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and taking the time to chat with us. And
man, thank y'all. I appreciate
really
it.
hope that the next tour that you guys
interest.
do goes a lot smoother.
Yeah, me too. The last one was great. It's the new one's looking good, but yeah, I think we're out of the woods with all the bullshit so far. Even the we were all going to get sick again this winter supposedly, but it looks pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Define
Yeah, right.
predictions.
Yeah, man. But thank you guys. I appreciate the interest and the opportunity and all that.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, anytime, man. For everyone listening at home, tune in next week. We'll be back with another guest.
All right.